O Grupo Dramático e Sportivo de Cascais Futebol SAD foi adquirido pelo fundo neerlandês Ventures Studio, que tem um plano ambicioso para o futuro do clube e da região e tem como meta chegar à Segunda Liga Portuguesa até 2030 e às competições europeias num prazo de 10 anos. Para nos falar sobre todo este processo, temos connosco nesta edição do Jogo Económico David Dwinger, CEO da V2 Ventures. David, nice to meet you, and first of all, welcome to Jogo Económico. It's a pleasure for us to be here with you. My first question has to be, what plans do you have for Grupo Dramático e Esportivo de Cascais? What unique potential, as already mentioned, justified this advancement?
Thank you, Rodolfo, for having me on this interview. It's a big question you're asking me because it's fairly broad, but the plans for the club is the ultimate plans is to play Benfica and Sporting and everyone Porto. So that's our real goal to rise through the ranks in the coming years, keep on promotion and improve our game, keep winning the matches, and end up in the first league. That's the real goal. And in addition to that goal, we have a lot of ideas and plans and sub goals to make it happen, because we don't want to reach our goal no matter what, right? So we have a system and we have a belief on how a football club could be sustainable, workable, and future proof. So that maybe leads to the second part of your question: what do we need to achieve it?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
what do we need to achieve it is a good academy. So not just the first team or the first team and the under 19s. We want a good academy which uses local talent, which there's a lot of in the whole of the Lisbon area, to give them a great training and development path throughout their ages, delivering great players, not just to the club but also in Europe to other clubs, right? So to become a real pro academy. And obviously, another big thing we need to be able to achieve this is a location which enables us to build this actual academy. Because the location currently, it's a beautiful place. It's close to the sea. It's a very likable place, but it's too small. So we will have to, and we are already looking into a new potential location in the area.
And why Grupo Dramático and Sportivo Cascais? How was the process of choosing the club to move forward with this investment?
It's a question everybody asks, and I understand, because in
Yeah.
the end it's a sixth division club, right?
Yes.
That's where we are today. And to be honest, Rodolfo, this was not what we set out to do when we started actively looking into the purchase of a club. We were looking at a second or a third division club to purchase. So when we first went through the whole cycles of which country, which division, etc., we very quickly landed in Portugal. And once we started that, we started talking to people like Nuno, the former president of the club, to ask him, okay, which introductions can you make? Where do we need to be? What is a relevant club for us? Still in our minds that we were going for a second or third division club. And he asked, or he actually, after a couple of weeks and a couple of conversations, they said you could also, join our project in Cascais, which was different than what we set out to do. But once we went there, we flew over 2 weeks later. We went there, and it was almost like love at first sight, right? So the location, as from the club, the city, it's beautiful. So it actually was an emotional decision first. Basically, falling in love with the location a little bit, and then looking at the potential of the club and the location, the surroundings. It's got the Cascais for me. It's got the X factor, right? So probably, if it wasn't Cascais, we probably would have bought a second or third division club. But now it gave us actually everything we really wanted: a great location, a great potential, great people involved, and the ability to build something from scratch almost.
Do you believe that the objectives of this ambitious plan to achieve the Portuguese second league in in 5 years and the European competitions in 2034, it's a very big goals for
Yeah.
you. But beside the academy and the new stadium, what can you bring more to achieve these objectives?
As a group, so from our perspective, from V2 Ventures and our network and our experience in building brands, building technology, building and adding a great network, allows us to give the club a unfair advantage, as we call that, right? So if you look at only our current board of advisors, that is a board of advisors which would fit a first division club, right? A
Mhm,
first league club. But we have it. And the same goes for our access to, again, technology, our access to network. We're having some serious, interesting conversations around sponsorships for the club. Again, normally the level of sponsorships we're talking about now would be for a first or second division, right? And we already have that opportunity now. So I believe, and I'm not talking just about monetary value here. I'm talking
mhm,
about the ability for us as a group to talk to a partner, an investor, a sponsor, new players, board of advisors to join our project, because there is something special about, again, Cascais and the location. So the ambition is absolutely there. Yes, we want to play in that level in the next 10 years. And if we do it perfectly, it will take five, right?
mhm.
Which won't happen. We need to promote 5 times in a row. I think that's very unlikely. But
Mhm.
with the motivation, the ability, and the network around us, I think we can come a long way in the next 10 years. Absolutely.
Your first plan is to give the club the infrastructures that the club needs, the academy, the stadium, to then for the next step we give the club good players, like you said, to step by step grow up in the divisions until you achieve the second league and the Premier League Portuguese.
I think it's a parallel process.
Hmm.
So we we attract players now already from a higher division. Um, we're in constant talks and scouting for new players
Hmm.
from the fifth division, from the fourth division, or players who have even played third division in their time, and we're trying to get on board now. So as you can imagine, the team we have now is great, but will it be the exact same team which will play the second division? Most likely not, right?
Hmm.
Not only because of quality, but also because of time and
Hmm.
more actually. So it's a
And
constant.
it's another level of competition, of
Of
course.
course, of
Yeah.
course. So it gets faster. It gets, and so we're constantly working on getting the best players. I made an offer to a player last Saturday. I was actually watching my own son play. He plays here at youth pro level in the Netherlands. I'm watching him play, and during his play, I was making a deal with a new player, which we're trying to attract, which is going to help us make a little step again, right? So it's constant, it's incremental steps. So as a vision and as an ambition, it sounds ridiculously high, but it's actually just a cumulative of small steps to take on daily basis.
How much can you will do invest in this first
Yeah.
stage?
Oh, in the first stage, ooh, that's I can say in the coming years it will be multiple millions.
Okay.
And I'm not even talking about the the stadium, because obviously, as you can imagine, that's a completely separate project
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
price range as well. But I do believe that if we do that well, and we're currently, as I said, looking at locations, if we have control of our own stadium and location, it helps the club as well from building the infrastructure and having the flexibility to grow. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really important. Um, we're not here to invest and sell the club next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. It will be a very costly endeavor for us. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't answer your question specifically, but it will be a multi-million euros in the
Mm-hmm.
next years. Absolutely.
Do you have more plans to invest in other Portuguese clubs or only in Grupo Dramático Sportivo Cascais?
For now, it's one club. Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, we're an ambitious team, so we're always looking at opportunities, and we do a lot of other deals within sports and media tech on almost a daily basis. But what we're trying to build as a company is to make sure that the portfolio companies we have are beneficial to each other, right? So we've got a couple of companies in the portfolio which the club will directly benefit from. If I buy another football club, it's not necessarily beneficial, right? Because now my attention goes to two clubs. So I don't see us buying another club anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I do read in the paper today that there are some other actually fairly big players in the world looking at Portuguese clubs today as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's becoming more and more attractive,
Mm-hmm.
and rightfully so. I mean, it's a beautiful country. There's obviously a high quality of football, right?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of Dutch football, of course, as you can see in the background. But
Mm-hmm.
but Portugal is the same thing, and many other countries as well. But Portugal, there's something about it, and it's the location again, the quality of football, the relation with Brazilian football. So there's a lot to like there.
You think it's more easier for a foreigner group to invest in a small club? The community and the club and the players accept more easier foreigner investor in these clubs on the small divisions than the biggest one.
I can imagine it is. I can imagine it is because even though the club today is from GDS Cascais is an old club itself
Mhm.
as a multi sport club, already has a lot of heritage. But I can imagine, the bigger, the more fans you already have, more opinions, more people, more love into the club as well, right? So more people love the same thing. So there will be more emotion. Absolutely. I think at this stage, um, again, the added value of us being part of it is big, and it does something for the direct community. Absolutely. I do also understand the background of your question because there's a lot of negative thoughts and voices around foreign investors, right? I don't see us as an investor. I think that's the big difference. I truly do not see ourselves as investor. I think if you're an investor, you will be sitting here where I am now in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and I would ask the CEO, how are we doing by the end of the month? I talk to the CEO and the sporting director and the trainer on weekly, if not daily basis, right? So we've got multiple people here full time in the Netherlands working for the club.
Mhm.
So we're we're not investors. We're part of it, right?
Mhm.
We're actively involved, like I said, in attracting players or everything. I
Yeah.
was having maybe to give you an example to the level we were having a 20-minute discussion last week about the washing machine in the club. That's how involved we are.
Okay.
So,
Okay, okay, okay. I understand. David, you already talked about the technology and Sports Day as a digital component that it's
yeah.
it's invaluable to in any growth strategy. What will be done in this chapter?
So yeah, again, because of our portfolio companies, we have the ability to add cameras. I'll come to Cascais in 2 weeks again. I'll bring a new camera for the club. from one of our partners. There are multiple apps which we have, which can be implemented in the club as well. We are finalizing a very, very cool analytics company, a deal with an analytics company who uses drone technology to do analytics on training fields initially. So that obviously is, again, benefit for the club. So I strongly believe that technology should be part of any club. But having said that, I don't think it needs to be a technology-driven club. And everybody thinks that because that's our background. I don't think you can run a football club with only opinions of people and only analytics and data. It won't work. It needs to be a hybrid model, right? You need to be able to use data to make your point or prove what you're saying. But there's always, especially in football, it's the human factor, right? So seeing something which nobody else does, and or just having another opinion. I was having a conversation the other week, maybe that's a good example, with a guy who made a very interesting tool, an application. And as a trainer, you can upload your video, and then the trainer can ask his players in this video clip, why did the left central defender put a risky pass to the left back? And as a trainer, you can then say, this is my opinion, but the players won't read it. Everybody needs to give it their own input, and then you can measure what the overlap is. So in the demo, he showed me. And so I gave my answer in the demo. And we were both right, and we both said something completely different. Right? So his view was because the number 6 and number 8 are hiding behind their opponents. My view was because the left central defender in this specific case was right-footed. So if he was left, he would have given the ball very easily. And we were both right. So that's what I'm saying. Just technology won't solve it. Just the human eye won't solve it. You need to marry the two up, and then you have something very interesting.
David, we are almost finished this interview. I
Yeah,
have
sorry. I always get excited when I talk about this.
That's only one more question for you.
Yeah.
The connection with the community of Cascais, how critical is to be this connection to the success of this investment?
Vitally critical, and the basis of that is we need the local community, not just for our support, but also for as part of the academy, right? So we need support from a fan base perspective. We need support from a sponsorship perspective, and from access to new infrastructure, new everything we might need. Absolutely, but also we need the best players to choose us as a club to play when they're 8 and 9 years old, right? And then again, our belief there is that because we will add the new benefits to the club also in the academy, we will become more and more attractive to those players when they're the young age. And maybe if I can add one more thing to that, one of the big things we want to do in the academy is I want to move the model away from how regular football clubs work, is that they, at an older age, they start handpicking the players which they think they should get a contract. Right. So basically betting on one person. What I would like to implement is that we have not just one person getting a 10,000 euro contract. I would like 10 young guys to have €1,000 contracts. Right. And I think that's for us is something I strongly believe in. Right. And don't mind the exact numbers, but more the vision on how to do it. Right. I think that is way more important, because that drives change in scouting and how we attract the community, and how people want to choose us as a long-term club to play for.
You already have some feedback about the Grupo Dramático Sportivo Cascais fans. What they tell you to you?
I see a growing fan base, and absolutely, it's still small if I look at the other bigger clubs around us, of course. But I also got told by the player I just allured to, I was trying I'm trying to make to come play for us. He said everybody in Cascais is talking about GDS Cascais at the moment, right? So things are starting to happen, which is great.
David, once again, thank you so much for this interview in Jogo Económico, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot more times about this project and how this project will still growing, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely will talk a lot of times in the future.
Obrigado, Rodolfo. Thank you
So,
for having me, and by all means, I'd love to talk again. Absolutely.
thank you so much,
Thank you.
David.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Na terceira parte deste jogo económico, fique com as escolhas da semana.